welcome to another episode of The Learning Curve with me, Batty. Today's episode I am going to be going through kind of making a logo. You'll certainly see that video toward the end of it, but having had a bit of constructive criticism, which is, perfectly fine, I'm perfectly happy to take ideas and hints and tips on board. That's kind of what I asked for. I'm probably going to retouch on some of the stuff that I went over last episode. I will probably show you where to download some of these things from. I'm going to try and take you on a guide of kind of like how I've done things. So there'll be some off Minecraft kind of work. Don't judge my desktop, whatever you do. Thank you very much. But yeah, we're going to hopefully go in and I'll show you how I've managed to get myself set up, what I've downloaded, how I use it. There are tutorials out there for all of this stuff. I've completely and utterly been, not binge watching YouTube, although that is quite easy to do if you just let it run. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on how to download things, what software is best to use with what machine and all that kind of thing. So yeah, bear with me. We might be jumping around a little bit, but I'm going to step by step go through some of the stuff I touched on last episode in the hope that you can see, thanks sheepy, so that you can see some of the stuff that I've been putting together to actually get my, for goodness sake, to get my logo built. And I'm going to show you, how I've got there. You've seen it in the other videos that I've done because I recorded that footage a while ago. So yeah, without further ado, let's get back into it. Okay, so to retouch on what I talked about in the last episode, I'm assuming that we've got our game downloaded, installed. Could be Minecraft, could be anything. We're happily playing along. The first step I mentioned to recording gameplay was getting some software. So here's the Geforce Experience website. This is what I have chosen to record my gameplay with because, as mentioned, I have an NVIDIA graphics card. So it seemed a bit kind of common sense or a bit self-explanatory that I would perhaps use this one. It's okay. It's fairly easy to use. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, this is the website, and it is just as easy as clicking a button and following the instructions. It's pretty easy. Okay, so here's my desktop. Here's my my little shortcut to my Geforce Experience. This is the software that I use to record gameplay. So let's open this. Let's not rename it. Let's open this. Thank you. It brings up your game library to start with. Driver, I don't know what drivers is. And I think this is where I can adjust some of the settings. It will give me information about my rig. Here's some of the features of it that you can, it gives you drop down menus. It will tell you all about what these features are. Yeah, it's just a question of, if you do download it, if this is what you're going to be using, then jump in, have a play, click buttons. That's pretty much what I do when I'm trying to figure something out. We do have our in-game overlay, which is going to be tricky to see. If I press Alt and Z as it tells me to here, this is the in-game overlay. So it kind of like fades out the background a little. This could be the game that you're playing. I've got a settings icon, video, audio, gallery, all of these things here. I am recording, so it's telling me I'm recording. I don't know if you can see it, but I do have two little icons in the bottom. I think I can explain them a little in a minute to say that I'm recording the screen, and there's a little microphone icon as well to tell me that I'm recording audio. It gives me these shortcuts for taking screenshots. Photo mode, I don't know what that is. I don't know what game filter is either, or instant replay. If I figure out what these things are and how to use them, I will let you know. Don't laugh at me if you think that I should know what these things are already. I am a beginner. This is all new to me. Broadcasting, I assume that's got something to do with if I wanted to do some streaming. But yeah, so that's our in-game overlay. I can get to the settings by clicking that button, and it's going to give me, there we go, so the little recording icons appear in my bottom right of my screen. So that's my HUD layout, which I know stands for heads up display, I think. I've probably got that wrong now as well, haven't I? But I could change it if I wanted to, and my little icon pops around all over the screen. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you can see that. It's going to give me performance. Some of these I just don't know what some of these things mean. Keyboard shortcuts, here we go. So it's going to tell you what all the shortcuts are. I wrote down some of the like saving screenshots and starting recording, so I've got some of these. I had them written down next to me, but thankfully I've been in and done enough practicing that I pretty much know the important ones off by heart. So yeah, so you can easily get in and check some of these. Let's go back. Let's see, from here again, recordings. It's going to tell me where I'm recording, any files, any temporary files and videos. Let's see, photo mode, that's just going to give me that. So this is, I've been in and messed around with some of these. This is where I found out where I'm actually recording my files to. So that's the settings. I believe, let's press Alt and Z again to clear that. I believe I can get to the settings, yeah, from that button as well. So that takes me to the same place. And it also opens that again. Desktop notifications, downloads, yada yada. Okay, so that's the Geforce Experience. That's pretty much the basics, and that's all I know at the moment. And it's got me through. You know, I can do this. I've recorded videos. They're all right. You can go in. Where were the? There's all sorts of. There's all sorts of these settings which I don't understand what any of this is. The resolution, the frame rates, frames per second. I've got vague ideas of what this might be about, but I don't really have a clue. It's something I'd like to learn more about, and maybe they could be topics for a future video. Maybe I could go in and teach myself what all of these FPS is all about, and I could bring you in for that as well. I could teach you, you know, what I've learnt as well if I go a bit further in depth with some of these things, you know, screen resolutions and all the rest of it. So yeah, maybe that is a topic for another video, but at the moment, like I said, I've got to grips with the basic settings of my recording software, and I'm perfectly happy with it at the moment. Okay, the second point that I talked about in the previous video was once you've got your gameplay recording software kind of downloaded and you're using that, you've recorded all these video clips. Now you've got to edit them together. So the second process, like I said, I mentioned, I chose Shotcut as my video editing software because it had fairly good reviews, and it's also free. This is the website that I downloaded it from. It obviously gives you lots of information about it. You can find out more, do your own reviews if you wanted to. And I think if I click download, you get bombarded by adverts like you do with everything on the internet these days, but it will bring you to another page. Yes, so we've got downloads for the different operating systems, so make sure you click the right one. I obviously downloaded the Microsoft Windows edition. And And yeah, I just, again, click the button, start downloading it, follow the instructions. It's all really quite straightforward and easy to use. So there we go. So that's the Shotcut website and how I've downloaded Shotcut. So I've downloaded Shotcut and it hides down here on my taskbar. I'm not entirely sure why I haven't got a little icon like a little desktop shortcut, but it doesn't really bother me. It sits down here. This is, let me close this. This is the video you're watching at the moment, and this is what I'm currently trying to put together. Let's save. Let's close. Closed. And here we go. This is where you get to, let's just shut that down actually and open it fresh from the start so you can see its pretty logo. And have I got to wait an eternity again? No, I don't have to wait an eternity. Here we go. So I've just opened up Shotcut. I've got all of my recent projects down here. You can see I've been messing around with all sorts of bits, just getting to grips with what buttons do what and what processes I need to go through. These are all my recent projects. If you want to start a new project, which we'll do now, we'll work through a little bit of an example. Like I said, this episode I'd like to try and put together a short video of how I've designed and built the logo that you guys have seen in our Toms already. So yeah, so I'll put together a few bits to show you how I've made that video. So this is our new project. We're going to give it a name. I am aware that I've partially doxed myself, but I'm okay with that. It's fine. Let's helpful boxes pop up and tell you what things are going on. So project name, let's call this Logo Video 1 Go. Okay, so there we go. So we haven't created anything yet. What am I on about? This is like the desktop, for want of a better word. This is our blank canvas in Shotcut. I'm grabbing these little bars here to give me more space down here. This is a timeline that we're going to be putting our clips on to make our final video in a second. This is our source window, so when we open our video clips in a minute to bring them into this project, this is where we're going to be viewing what we're selecting, as it were. So we've got our playlist. There is a button here for filters, which we can get to in a moment, and these are just tabs that you can toggle between. So like these guys, project, source, no, can't toggle them. Oh well, anyway, here's our blank canvas. So let's start bringing in some files. So I know that we're going to be looking at designing a logo. So we're going to mess around in Creative first, or what I've done, because I've sneakily already gone in and recorded this, but I designed the logo in a Creative test world first. So I'm going to choose this clip of me. Here we go, we're playing in this window. This is me just kind of messing around and placing wool. It's not particularly interesting. Start to finish, there we go. I'm going to pause that there using the buttons, and I can click and drag. There we go, plonk. There's our first bit in our playlist. Let's open the file. So we've designed it in Creative, and then what are we going to do? We're going to jump into our actual world where we want to build it. What are we going to do? Let's gather the materials. So we'll gather some materials. Let's open this. Great, picking up the wool. Fab. Let's pop that over there. Let's open another file. Clear out some space. I don't know why I've put silent, because I think I'm intending to put music over this. So wonderful, me digging out some space. Then we're going to build the logo. Wonderful. And once we've built the logo, I assume I'll do this one. go on mountain. So a lot of my raw data, I've actually only like raw videos, I put raw so that I know that's the raw footage, and then these things I've obviously gone in and done some editing too prior. You can see little fades happening between us. So end of logo vid, let's open this one and let's have this as the end of the logo. Just checking are we still recording. Right, Bumpity Bee, do you like my new sign? Look, some audio on that one. So there we go. So we've got some, these are the clips we want to do. Now what we can also put in here is some audio. Let me see. I don't know what music I'm going to put in here. After a bit of a Google search, I found Silverman Sound Studios, which is this website here. I found it really useful. They give a really good explanation of what royalty-free music is and what Creative Commons music is, and the process of actually including the music and giving credit properly so that you avoid any copyright issues. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been using, picking out a few tracks. You can preview some of them here. You can, if you like, click on a button and it will, again, you can preview it. You can download the MP3, copy the credits. They give you another little box here so that you can literally copy and paste it and actually include it in the kind of the end section of your videos as well. Bit more of a description. Yeah, I found it really useful, really helpful, and this is where I've got some of the music for my videos so far. So let's jump back into our editing. Let's try this one. It might be a bit strange. I bet it's going to come out really loud, so be warned, protect your ears. Hang on a minute. Yeah, it is really loud. But anyway, so there's our audio track. Let's drag and drop that one in here. What else do we need to do? I think that's pretty much it. Okay. Fingers crossed this is going to work. I've been having a few issues with my recording after all of that and saying how good NVIDIA is. So we'll see what happens. When we've got our clips all lined up in our playlist, they don't necessarily have to be in this order. They could be in whichever order you want. We're going to drag and drop down to our timeline so that we've got them here. We're going to scooch over to the end of the timeline and maybe bring our next clip in, and it just clips onto the end there. Clips, clicks. I don't want to confuse you by calling things the same. So yeah, we've got our video clip that is clicked onto the end of here. They do kind of snap into place, so that's pretty easy. You can get into things like transitions, whereby if you bring it slightly over, you get this crossfade, so one clip will fade into another, so that's one type of transition. We learnt where the undo button was fairly early on, as you can imagine, and it's just a question of like placing your clips in order. You can certainly at the beginning and the end, there's a little button, a little circle that shows up, and you can click and drag that to give a fade in, so that as you play the clip back it kind of fades up or fades down. You can probably go in and change the colour that it fades from. At the moment I've got it on black. I'm not entirely sure how to change it either now that I've said that. This little bar that indicates where in the video you're looking at is called a play ahead, I know that much, and you can kind of click and drag it. You can speed things up, you can see where you've got to in your video. That's pretty useful to know. If you wanted to put some music underneath, you could just drag this down. If you drag it underneath, oh no, I did that wrong, didn't I? Here we go, learning along with me. So let's undo that. We need to right click down here under track operations. We can add an audio track. So now I've added an audio track. Similarly, if you wanted to put in additional audio tracks, so you wanted to talk over the top of some music, You can add another one. You can remove a track. There's still lots of things that I don't entirely know how to do, but like I've said before and will say again, there are lots of tutorials through YouTube or I'm sure online somewhere that you can find that are going to help you through in a way that perhaps you can understand it. Yeah, we can bring our, there we go, I've just kind of plopped our audio down here. That's going to be really loud. In our filters, if we've got our clip highlighted, we can add a filter. I'm going to choose the volume and actually bring this down because I think it's actually quite loud. And then as you play, you get the music that goes along with it, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to just kind of, I've put some of it together as you can see. I'm going to play around and get a video together, and I'll bring you back in and we'll see what it looks like. There you go. There's my little recording of how I've made this logo that's behind me that you have seen in other videos before. But yeah, I hope it was informational, to say the least. It was certainly an interesting process trying to put a video like that together. Hopefully you've learned something from it. Maybe you want to try out the software that I've been using. Who knows? But yeah, there you have it. It's quite a cute little video. So now I'm itching to actually play some Minecraft. So what I'm gonna do, what I'm thinking of, is to keep this little series going, the learning curve, as a kind of behind the scenes type gig, so that every time I learn something new or want to try out a new idea, I'll make a little video about it and maybe add it to this. I'll try and create a new playlist. I'm probably talking about lots of things that I don't quite yet know how to do, but that's going to be the purpose of the video, isn't it? To figure it all out, put it in a video and help you guys along, as much for my purpose as yours. So yeah, so if this is going to be behind the scenes, then I actually need to make some videos so that I can show you the behind the scenes of them. It's actually been really tricky trying to decide exactly what to do. There are so many types of Minecraft, get like game styles out there, you know, the Let's Play, the multiplayer, the hardcore, Java edition, Bedrock edition, who knows, there's custom maps, there's mods, there's so much stuff out there to do with Minecraft, but to be honest, I just like playing Minecraft for Minecraft. I like to play it the way it was intended. So I reckon I'm going to probably stick to something vanilla. If I can get any mods, what do they call them? Kind of like quality of life mods. So that'll be things like the vanilla tweaks that Eximavoid has put out, things like that. But we'll see. And I've decided that perhaps, as I'm doing something that already terrifies me, I'm making these YouTube videos, I might carry on in the same fashion. So so I think I might actually, I'm going to start a Skyblock series. Yikes. I'll be prepared for lots of shrieks and squealing, but I got big plans, I got grand ideas, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to call it, or even if it needs a name, but I don't know. If there's any beginner or related topics around, you know, making any gameplay videos that you'd like me to address, leave a comment, and I will see what I can do, see what I can put together. If there's something that you might find helpful that you want a beginner's perspective on, let me know. We'll see what we can do. But until next time, thanks so much for watching. See ya.